Hello, everyone. Hello. Just say hello if you can hear me.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. I
Good
can hear
evening.
you.
Hi.
Hello, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
I'm happy seeing you guys again. The day 2 of our Power BI developer class. Happy Sunday, everyone. Please say hello.
Happy
Say hi
Sunday.
on the
Happy
chat
Sunday,
section,
sir.
please.
Happy Sunday, sir.
Happy Sunday. It's
Thank you
nice
very
hearing from you again. Before we start the class, I would like to introduce the new. Last week we said here that we announced that people should reach out if those are interested in being the assistant class captain. And luckily, we have 2 people that have joined us now for the leadership team of this wonderful program that we are doing. So we have Isaiah Adebayo. Can you say hello to everyone, Isaiah?
Hello, everyone.
So that is Isaiah Adebayo. He's one of the assistant class captain. So he too might reach out to you guys, drop some information on the group sometimes, just to pass any updates that we have. And we also have Adenike. Can you say hello, Adenike? Adenike, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everyone.
Okay. Good evening, Adenike. So everybody, that's Adenike. She's also the second class assistant class captain. And we have Gift. She has been very active. Hello, Gift. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good
Just
evening,
say hello
everyone.
to us. Don't have gentle.
Hello.
Okay. So let's start the class. So guys, we have 3 wonderful topics to treat today. The first one is very simple. It's just something theoretical I'm just going to explain in a bit. And then after that, we are going to go into parameters. We are looking at query parameters today. And one part I said that people don't really, talk about that much is Power Query functions. So people feel that it's only in DAX that we have functions, and people are used to just talking about DAX functions, some this, some if, blah blah blah, this one that. But now today we are talking about Power Query functions. I said it that this Power Query class is going to take a very long time because you need to deal with everything you need to know as a Power BI developer in Power Query. So let's start with M code versus M query. And I want the class to be interactive. I want you guys to contribute. I said that this is our own community. It's not a community that somebody just says anything and everybody accepts it. If you feel that what I'm saying is wrong, please, you can correct me respectively. Like just do it in a respective manner, right? So if you feel I'm wrong, please come in and just say your opinion. Let there be mutual respect because I will never talk to anybody anyhow. So, guys, what do you understand by encode and mQuery? Anybody? Mcode, mQuery. I want you guys to talk. The word encode and mQuery. What do they mean? What's the difference? Are they the same thing? Should I assume there are no responses, right? Okay. So let me look for a best way to explain it to make it very easy for everybody to understand. So every of the transformation step that you are applying to your data sets or to your tables is the M query. A query is generated when all of these steps are taken. So this is one query. Source, promoted headers is one query, is one M query. Change type, remove other columns. Every step I take here, every step I apply is the M query. Now, behind every M query, there is an M code generated. Now, how do I see the M code? It's by going to the advanced editor here. Under your view, you will see advanced editor, right? Now you see that for every step that I took on this sales table, the source, promoted headers, transformed, changed some data types of some columns, remove some other columns. I did some, merge by doing nested joins. Right? Everything I did here, everything that I'm doing, there's a code generated for it here. This is the M code, right? So that is the difference between M code and M query. Is there any counter opinion to this?
Please come again. I didn't get the step.
Okay. I said M query is all the transformation steps that you have applied. Remove other. See, if you look at this right side, we see I merge query here, expanded this one here, remove columns here, merge another query here. Every step I took, every step I applied to this my data, to this my sales table now. Every of these transformation steps, they are the M query. Exactly. Now, the M code is what you see in the advanced editor. For every step I take, there is a code that is being generated at the back end of that my query, of that my M query. So the same thing that you are seeing here now, the same thing you are seeing in these applied steps that you are seeing on my right. Match query, expanded this, change this, match this, remove that, right? This is the code that is being generated at the back end of those applied steps. The applied steps is the M query. The code being generated in the advanced editor is
Sorry,
the M
sir, your
code.
screen is not sharing again.
My screen is not sharing again.
Yes.
Oh
Yes,
my
sir.
God, so sorry, but I never knew I wasn't sharing screen. What happened?
No, you were sharing before, it just went off.
I'm so sorry, you guys. Sorry.
Yes.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
back.
sir. Yes, you can see it
You know
now.
what? I think because I'm trying to share a particular screen, that's what it's causing problem. Let me just go share my entire screen. Can you see my entire screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I was saying, I said the applied
Yes, sir.
every applied step that every step you apply to your table, to your data, is the M query. These steps, source, promote headers, change data type, remove this, merge this, expanded this. They are the M query. The transformation steps applied is the M query. Now, for every of the steps that you take, every of the step you apply, every of the changes that you make that is being recorded on these applied steps here, there is a code generated at the back end of all those applied steps. It is called the M code. So when you go to, how do you see that code? Is by going to the advanced editor here. When you go to the advanced editor here, you are going to see the code that your applied steps are generating at the back end. So these are the code. So the same thing you have on the applied steps here, which is your M query, you are seeing the code generated for that applied step in the advanced editor. And this code is called the M code. Is it clear to us now?
It's clear.
Is there anyone that is not clear to yet?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is there from the mentors? Is there any counter opinion to this? Okay. I assume there are no problem. So that is
sorry.
okay.
Yeah, so from your explanation, I'm just
Yes,
trying to get this clearly. So it means that M code is like a language you use in Power Query Editor, and then the.
Sorry, can you come again, please? Your background is noisy a little.
Sorry, it's the wind. So
okay.
Yeah. So you say that M code is the language you use in Power Query Editor, and the M query is the command you use in data transformation using M code.
Don't mix it up. So there are different ways you can make transformation in Power Query. Some people are so advanced, they are so good that when they go to, let me go to home and say new source. For example, I can click on blank query. They can by themselves type. This is not where I want to go to. Where's that place? So new source. Yeah, it should be blank query now. Just hold on, please. So they can by themselves, right, go see a blank query and start typing in everything they want to do, right? Like all the code they need. They understand where the source is, they can type in the code and it will generate all these apply steps for them. By the time they finish typing all those code, just like what you have here, right? Some people are that good. Now, what I'm not saying is that I'm trying to differentiate between the two. And I said, for every apply steps you take here, as when you first connect your data source, right? The default apply step you first see is source, Abi, like what we have here. That one is the source you are connecting to, right? Promoted headers, it might promote your headers. It means that it might detect that this first row or whatever is detecting, those are your headers, right? Now, you might also see by default this change type. So depending on the data type that we have in the source, Power BI sometimes might be detecting a different data type, right? So every other 4 here, every other one from this first stage that you see here, I was the one that applied those steps by myself. I removed some columns, I merged some query, I did all of those things. Now, what I'm not saying is that all of these steps that I took here, merge, expanded, remove this and that, they are being recorded on the apply steps here. They are the M query, right? Now, for every M query, which is the transformation steps applied, right? There is a code generated for it in the advanced editor. So if you to transform, you can either come to the advanced editor first, do your transform, like type in your code here and click on done. When you do that, you will still see all these apply steps appear. Or when you apply the steps, which is the M query, when you go to the advanced editor, you will still see the code generated for all the steps that you applied. Is it clear now, sir? Is it clear?
Yes, so choice also automatically it's at the Power BI backend. If maybe through my click and what's it called on Power Query now, there will
Yes,
be a
yes.
code for each step
Exactly.
I took. There will be a
Yes,
code
exactly.
on backend.
Yes, and that code you see it in the advanced editor. It's called M code. The apply steps you did by drag and drop or whatever, that one is the end query.
Okay, yeah.
Is it clear now?
Yes.
If anyone has any counter
MQ,
opinion
yeah.
against what I'm saying, they can contribute to. Sorry, what did you say?
I just repeated what like the M query, then the M code.
The M code, yes. So what I was saying is that some people are so good that they don't even need to do drag and drop. They can come to a blank advanced editor, a blank one, and they can type in all of this by themselves. So the reason why it's good for you as a Power BI developer to also know how to write M code is that there are some times that you might want to do some kind of transformations, right? So you might want to like tweak or manipulate those transformations based on your understanding of M code. Is it clear now? You can come to any of your transformation steps here that you have made. You can come to any of the code and adjust it. Maybe this one it was meant to be it was not meant to be ship mode that you will transform here. It was meant to be another column. You can come here, you can come and change it. And when you click on you're done, you see now if I remove this command now, what did you see? It's giving me that it's showing me an error. That there's an error. So this is how you will know if in case for those of you that are typing encode by yourself directly here, right? You can detect that there's an error somewhere, because when you even click on done, it will bring error for you at the end of it. So let me click on done now. You see that it's showing me that there is error, right? There is error. Okay. So I have to now go back to that place I removed that comma now. I have to find that place now and put back the comma. Where did I remove the comma? Away. I can't see the place again. Yeah. I think it was the recategory. It was
Maybe-
recategory, right? Sorry? Was it in recategory? I did this thing. Oh my, oh, I don't go delete something.
Control Z.
And those will not work in this instance. Oh. No. Control Z is not working.
I guess it's after the category that is showing in red.
Yeah, okay, I can go back here now. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's here. What am I doing now? Yeah, so let me just go back here and put back the comma, and everything is fine, right? So with the if you like quality intelligence that we have here, you will know that yes, something is wrong with your code, right? So if I press done now, everything is back again. Now, if I want to remove one of my last transformation steps now, I rename the column, right? I rename the column from unit price to unit selling price. So if I remove that column, like I remove that step now, that code, let me just cut it away. See that I have to remove this command before this can work. And I press done. See that, oh, there's an error somewhere. The renamed column wasn't recognized. Okay, let me just go back and return it. So it's just like to show you a little how mQuery works, right? I mean mcode works rather. So let me go back and paste back that apply step. Okay, I press done. Everything is fine now, right? Okay. So that is mcode versus mQuery. Any question before I move to the next topic? Any question on mcode and mQuery?
It's clear, sir.
Thank you very much, so that we don't waste anybody's time. So now let's go ahead. So the next thing I said I will show you guys today is a very interesting topic called parameters. This kind of topics it's not kind of topics that when you register for any of these your edutech trainings that you pay so much money for. These are not topics that nobody's going to teach you because they are enterprise topics, right? So I want us to take it very serious and be attentive so that we can understand this very well. Now, what do we even use parameters for? Let me stop sharing. I think I have a slide somewhere that I'm going to quickly share with us. Just hold on for me, guys. 1 minute. Let me open that my slide. I'm also going to share a video that we are going to watch to really have that will serve as a guide for you to understand parameters very well. Just hold on for me. Where is this slide? Oh? Okay, I think I've seen it now. So why is it even important for us to create parameters? So what we are about doing today is query parameters. We are focusing on just query parameters for today, right? I can't see that my slide. Let me just go ahead with the explanation there so we don't waste time. Okay, so Query parameters are actually used for, managing, sorry, who is that? They are used for managing the structure of your data for easy maintenance, right? I know you might be wondering, which one is all this English that you are speaking now? I'm going to explain it better. So let's assume that this report that you want to create now, you only want to create this report based on a particular ship mode. How many ship mode do we have, guys, from this data? We have, is it not 3, I guess? We have 4 ship mode, right? Let's go to ship mode table and look at our ship mode. We have ship mode ID. We have standard, second class, first class, and okay. So let's assume you're only creating report for only first class. So you're only creating report for only first class, right? So let's go back. Our first class is what? Is ship mode ID 3, right? So I go back to my sales. So I can decide to, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a filter, right? I'm going to filter ship mode 3. Now, don't forget to change this to column profiling based on the entire data set, right? So I put this one on 3 because I'm paying report for only first class, right? And I click on OK. Now, how do I create parameters in such a way that I don't need to start coming to, in case I need to change the ship mode, what I'm creating based on the ship mode I'm selecting, or that I'm filtering. I don't want to start coming here all the time to come and start changing it to either 1, either 2, either 3 or 4, right? As a professional and as a Power BI developer, I'm meant to work faster, right? I'm meant to do things faster. So how do I sort this out? Now, what we are going to do now is to create query parameters. How do we create parameters? You come under your home on the menu here, right? You are going to click on manage parameters. You see a drop down beside it. Click on that drop down. You click on new parameter. Now, I'm going to show you different ways you can create parameter, right? So this is my parameter. I can name it ship mode filter, right? I can say use this to filter ship modes. Now, required or not required, I don't know. I've not used that part before. I've not really gone to that part before to do anything. Somebody is echoing at the background. Please, can you adjust your? So my data type, there are different data types that I can set my parameter to be. You see, it's any decimal, date, time, depending on the parameter that you are creating. So the parameter that I'm creating is actually in numbers, right? So I can just choose to, I can put it in any. I can put it in any. Now I'm going to click on these suggested values. I'm going to click on, so if I can use any value if maybe I'll be the one to manually type in my parameter, right? But let me click, let's start with the list of values. Let's start with the list of values. So list of values now, I can choose to type all the ship mode ID. 1, 2, right? 3, and what? What's the last one? 4, right? Now I'm going to set my default value. I can set it to maybe 1. And my current value also can be 1. You can set it to whatever you like. It doesn't matter, right? What we're trying to achieve is just that you can go there and dynamically filter your sales table based on the parameter you are selecting. So, guys, did you understand what I did up to this stage? I went to manage parameters here. I click on new parameter. This new window appeared. I named my parameter. This description part is not compulsory. It's just for learning sake. I said this is to filter the ship modes, right? I set my data type to be any, and my suggested values to be what? List of values. And my ship mode, I know I have ship mode 1 to 4, like ship mode ID. I have 1, I have 2, I have 3, I have 4. Now I've set my default value to 1, and I also set my current value to 1. This might not make sense to you now, but let's just go ahead. So current value 1, the default value 1, and I press OK. Now you see that you see that the logo for parameter, the logo is different from the logo from the way the table logos are appearing, right? So the shape mode filter that I just created now is telling me that my current filter is on 1, right? It's on 1. I can choose to change it to 2, I can choose to change it to 3, or change it to 4, based on what I'm filtering or what I want to filter in my sales table. Now, this will not automatically filter anything on your sales table. So you have to go to the sales table, and you are going to be the one to make sure that you incline your parameter inside your sales table to enable this parameter to filter what you have in that sales table. So I'm going to go back to the sales table now. Don't forget that the last applied step was that I filtered in only my ship mode ID 3, right? That is first class. Now, to infuse my parameter to this table, right? What I'm going to do now is that I will go to that. I can come to my formula bar here, right? I come to my formula bar here, and I can edit this place and change it. Instead of saying equals to 3, I can equals this to the parameter that I just created, right? I can do what? I can equal, that is one method. Now let's try out this first method now. So I remove the 3 now, and I'm going to type in this ship mode that I just created, and this ship mode filter, this parameter. See it appear here, ship mode filter. So I click on the ship mode filter, and I can choose to press enter, right? So what happens now? The sales table is now filtered based on ship mode ID 1 because I selected ship mode ID 1 in this my parameter. If I go back to my ship mode parameter now, my ship mode filter, and I change this to 3, or I change it to 2, when you go back to the sales table, you will see that the ship mode ID selected now, filtered in, is now ship mode ID 2, right? So the sales table is now filtered based on my selected value in my created parameter. So I can go back again now and come here and change my current value of my parameter to 4. Now, when I go back to my sales table, what happened to my sales table? You see that I have ship mode ID column filtered based on what? Ship mode ID 4. And if you look at my ship mode filter, that is my parameter, I am selecting 4 as the current value. Is it clear to us, guys? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So now, let me go back to
the code, sir. Like how do I get the code? Is it from like after filtering? Then when I click on the filter, the code will come up. Or
when you click on the filter step, you will see the code on this formula bar here.
Okay.
And you can go to the formula bar now and go and change it. Instead of equals to 3 that you did before, you change it to equals to 2, this parameter that I just created.
Yes.
So anything you now select on the parameter is what we apply on the filter in your sales table.
Okay.
Is it clear to you now?
Okay. Oh yeah. So that means for me to use it, I must first filter the table that
you must first come and create that. Yeah, there are different ways. You can first create your parameter first before you come and apply filter. And you can apply a filter first and come and create the parameter.
Okay. Okay. All right, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you will see how wonderful this thing. You see some things that we just teach, but sometimes we don't talk about the essence of it. Why some people are looking at why are we doing all these things? What's the reason for this? Does it even make sense? Why am I creating parameters? You will now see the usefulness now when we connect it to an SQL server and a database. You will now see the usefulness of this parameter, right? Even regardless of whether database on database is very useful. Now, we are going to create a very simple report for now. We are not writing any DAX or anything, just simple report. You understand what I'm saying now? So, I told you that you can come to the formula bar to come and equate this, your ship mode ID to the parameter, right? So let me now remove the parameter that let me just change it back to the 3. Now, assuming this is my 3, the data type for that 3 is text. Assumption. Assuming the data type for this my ship mode ID is text, you are going to put the 3 in quotes like this. So if you just put only 3, it will not work. Do you get what I'm saying? If your
like
ship,
for text,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
must
if
change
that
it
ship mode
on.
ID is in text, you have to put
Yes,
that 3 in that inside that double quotes. Is that one clear? Okay. Then just take it back to the 3 that it was before. So it's in 3 now. If I don't want to come to the formula bar here to come and remove 3 and change it back to and equate it to the ship move repeater that I created, what I would just do, I can also go to this setting button. This setting button I have beside the filtered rows. You can come to that setting button here, right? When you click on it, another window will appear. Now, instead of it now saying equals to 3, you will now change it to equals to the parameter. How will you see the parameter here? You call this data type that you are saying 1.2 that is showing here. You will see the parameter there. You see that it's showing decimal, right? You will click on this drop down in the middle here and change it to the parameter here. Is it clear, guys? Let me go back again. I come to this apply step under filtered rows. I click on the setting button beside the filtered rows here under apply steps. Now this window will appear, right? What I'm going to do, it's saying that I'm filtering based on ship mode ID equals to 3, right? Now you can leave this 3, no problem. Just come to the middle here and change it to parameter. So that we see that when you click on parameter, what happened? You see the ship mode filter that we created here. You see it appear here. So it's the same thing as equating, as coming here to come and change it to say ship mode ID in the formula bar here equals to the ship mode filter, right? It's the same thing. So I come here, change it to parameter. So instead of showing 3 here now, it has changed it to ship mode filter, right? And I click on OK. What happened to the formula bar? You see the same thing happened now, right? Okay. So because I'm selecting 4 him as my current value, let me change it now to 2 and go back to my sales. It's not filtering based on what now, guys?
I'm so sorry. Like,
Based on 2.
my
Based on
network
2
is
now.
actually component to me, except when I'm available. Enter my home. Like, my
Sorry,
network
please, who is making that noise? Oh?
Thank you for the compliment.
Can you help me with the person gift? Okay.
He has muted himself.
So, okay, better. So those are the two. Sorry, not the two the two ways. Sorry. That's another example of how you can change your filter to that your created parameter. Is it clear to you guys up to this point? Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Now, let's now look at another way of creating this parameter. So, let me just take this back to defaults and just change it back to what it was. So 3, right? I'm going to delete that step. So let me, okay. Let me just leave it. Let me delete. This is my parameter. So I delete the parameter now. I'm still going to come back and recreate it. So now let's now say that instead of, if you want to do it, if you want to follow that pattern, there are different other ways you can also do it. Now, there's one that is called what's it called? Query. Like that third option that we have, that query list. I'm going to show you. We have list of values, Abby. And just I think there is another option that says query. Let's go there. So what we are going to do in this method is that, there are some times that, just like what we did last week, that we had what the normalized table, and we now created our dimension tables from that Spark table, which is our sales table. It was from this sales table that we created ship mode table, customer table, product table, location segment, and recategory. Now, let's now say that this is the main table, right? And let's assume that, we have ship mode 4 now. Let's now say that another ship mode is added to that denormalized table, that sales table. You know that because this one is connected to the sales, it was created out of sales. So if there's any changes in the share if there's any new additional ship mode that appears on the what's it called? On the sales table, when you refresh these other tables, you will see those ones to add them to this place. That is clear, right? Now, let's say I don't have all of these tables as assumption, and I want to create this. I want to use the ship mode ID, the ship mode ID column. I want to use that. I want to use it as my parameter. So what am I going to do in that context now? So what I'm going to do is this. Let me remove the filtered rows here. Remove that apply step. Now, I will come to this my ship mode ID column on the sales table. I will right click it. I'm just talking slowly so that we understand it. That's why I'm talking very slow. I know some people are already angry. Say, why are you slow like this? So ship mode ID column, I'll right click on it. And you see this last option there that says add as new query. Add as what? New query. Let me go back again. Sorry, I'm slow. I right click on this ship mode ID. I'm using the ship mode ID as to create my parameter, right? So I come to ship mode ID, I right click on it, and there's a last option down there, add as a new query. Now, when you click on add as a new query, it's going to create a list. It's something called lists in Power Query. It's going to do what? Create a list for you. Right? It's going to do what? It's going to create a list for you. Now, that list, when you now have that list, you can, do I need to convert it to a table? I don't think so. So I'm going to right click on this list now and remove duplicates. Right? And remove what? Duplicates. Now, I have ship mode ID, right? Because that's the name of the column from the sales table that I have. So I come to my home here. Still on the manage parameters again. I click on new parameter. Right? I call it ship mode filter. Right? Now, instead of I used list of values the other time, Abby, that I had to type in manually all the IDs that are under ship mode ID. The disadvantage of that is that anytime there is a new ID, a new ship mode introduced to the system or to the sales table, I have to come back at every time to my manage parameter to come and edit that parameter that I created, to come and type in that new ship mode that I have, right? But if I use query, if I convert that ship mode ID column to a query, that gives me this list like this. Anytime there's a new ship mode and the ID is being generated, automatically it will appear under this list when I refresh the sales table. And also if I refresh the sales table, yeah, because I'm assuming that I don't have the ship mode, right? As in the ship mode table. And I want to use the ship mode ID column to create my parameter. So the good thing here is that the other method that I used at first, I had to come by myself and type in the IDs one by one. If there's a new ID that is being introduced, I have to come back at every time to come and do what? To come and update it by typing in that new ID, right? That is the new ship mode that's been introduced to the data. Now, for this one, now I have to just come to query. I'll just click on it. Now, it will not ask me which query, the query that I just created now, ship mode ID query. I click on it, it appears. I can now put my current value to be any of the values, right? And I press OK. What happened now? Now, the difference between this one is that, in the other one, you already have like a drop-down list based on what you typed when you were creating the parameter, or you used to choose, right, your current value of your parameter, right? For this one, I can choose to just type it in, right? So I said automatically, this will not affect your sales table until you come and connect it to your sales table. And how do you do that? You go to the ship mode ID column. You filter based on one of the IDs, right? You filter based on 2, for example. You filter based on 2, right? And we can come to the setting here or whatever, wherever, and change it to what? To the parameter, right? So on the parameter, I'm selecting 3 as the current value. That is why you also see 3 as the filter applied to the ship mode ID column in the sales table. If I come here and I change it to 1 and I press enter and I go back to my sales table again, the ship mode ID column will be filtered based on my selected or my current value in my parameter. Is parameter clear to us, guys? I want your responses.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, the advantage of this second method, let me come back again before I answer Nimota lie. Before I answer you, or before I allow you to talk, let me repeat what I said again. This second method of us creating a query that gives you this list is that if a new ship mode was introduced, unlike the other one, I had to come and type it by myself manually. This other one is automatic because before I created it, I add the entire column as what? As a query, and I remove duplicates, right? So what that means is that if there's a new ship mode, when I refresh my sales, it's going to come to this ship mode ID list here. Is that clear, guys? Is it clear?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Nimotala, you can talk now.
Okay, good evening. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Good evening. Okay.
Evening.
So I wanted to ask that which
Yeah.
is the best method? I mean, which one do you normally use among all the 3?
Okay. So it all depends on you. You understand the data you are dealing with more than I do. You are the one creating the reports. So if you know you have a lot of IDs, maybe like 50, 60, 100 IDs, maybe for example, now you are dealing with, that for, product now. Let's go to product now. How many products do we have? On these products, there are plenty. Let me go to my view, column profile. I have, okay, that's based on the top 1,000. Let me go to the based on the entire data sets. I have 1682 products. Are you getting my point now?
Yes, Nima. You can just call me
Nima. Just call you Nima here. So you see this one, I have 1,862 products, product ID. I cannot be typing them one by one.
Yes.
Do you understand? So this second method will make sense. Because when I just go to the product ID on the sales table, I can just click on add as new query. Automatically generate a list and I can remove from there, I can remove my duplicates. Is that clear?
Yes.
So that one, I don't need to do any while of typing it manually. For ship mode, because I only have 4, that's why I can easily type the 4. Do you understand? But if you have IDs that are more than 1,000, are you going to be typing one by one?
No.
So what I'm teaching you guys today now is just like I'm just showing you like different ways of doing the same thing. Do you understand? So now it depends on you on what approach are you going to use. So I would say that the second one is the best anyway, because the first one is manual. You have to type it in yourself. Is it clear?
Yes, very well.
Okay, now let me now do something. So let's assume that, okay, let me do my close and apply. Click on close and apply to go back to my Power BI desktop. You will now see the wonders of this stuff now. Okay. So let me connect. Here's my ship mode table. Okay. Let me create a new layout here. So guys, you know I have one layout here by default, Abby. Let me show this thing before I move ahead. Although we're still going to come back there when we get to data modeling. So you can choose to leave your original tables the way they appear on this model view here like this, and click on this plus sign to give you a new layout. And you can now drag in the tables you want to connect together. In case you have plenty tables and you're always confused when you want to do your model, the tables are looking too complex. There are too many tables on your model. That's not advisable anyway. But let me just drop in the sales table like that, drag it from the right to the left, and I have my Akiyemi.
Okay, sir. Looking at the modeling now, the models, I can see that there are no relationships between the dimension table and the fact table. Are you the one that changed?
I'm
Because
not
I expect that they
doing
should
that.
be.
I'm not teaching data modeling yet. We are still in Power Query. I just basically show you guys something. Like for you to understand the merits of that thing we just did now, that parameter. Is that clear, Akim? So don't worry about
Yes, sir.
that for now. If you are not even yet, if I say but we are not even close to data modeling yet at all. Okay, so let's now say I'm creating a very small report. I connect ship mode ID here, ship mode ID in the sales table, which is a one-to-many relationship, which is okay. Now, if I come to my report view, let me bring in one table I like using so much, the matrix table, right? So I have my ship mode. This my table now, my sales table now is filtered based on what? It's filtered based on only ship mode ID what? They're filtering based on what? Is it ID 2 or 3 or 4? I've forgotten. So let's now say, let me bring in, okay. You know what? Let me just delete this one. Let me bring in the card charts. Let me bring in the card charts, and let me just drop in something from sales. Okay, I have quantity column. So quantity now. I drop in quantity. It's going to give some of the quantity column for me. Okay, so I have 23,000 for quantity, right? Now, you know that this quantity that I'm seeing here now is based on the ship mode ID I selected. So let me go back to transform data. Let me go to what did I select in my filter? Okay. I am using one ship mode ID 1. Okay, ship mode ID 1. So let me minimize. So if I now the good thing is that you see what various parameter is very useful. I don't need to even always go back to my Power Query for me to go and make changes to the selected to my filters based on my parameter. You can just come to modeling here, right? Is it modeling? I'm always making this mistake. Under your transform data, rather, you will see edit parameters. Now, you can choose to change it to any of the parameters that you selected in your Power Query. So I can change it to 3 now. And when I press OK, it's telling me to apply new changes now. I apply changes. What happened? We see what will happen now. The values of my quantity, some of quantity has changed because it has changed based on the parameter, the filter. So the filter is only applied to only filter in what? To filter in which of the parameters of the ship mode ID 3, right? Which is the first class, right? So in case they say, you know what, can you change that report such that we are only creating this report based on ship mode ID 1 alone, which is standard class. So everything you are creating in that report, whether you are creating report for product or about the category or about location, everything is just based on what? On first class, on standard class, on second class. Is it clear? And if they don't tell you and say, you know what, developer, change this report to be based on only standard class alone, then instead of you now come to your Power Query like this and coming here, which come and be changing it every time you need to change the ship mode, you only need to come to this transform data here, come to edit parameter here, and change this to standard, for example, that ship mode ID 1, and you press OK. And you apply changes, and every of your results that is showing in your report will be based on that selected value in your parameter. Does it make sense to us? Any questions? Somebody was raising up your hand now. Shegun.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Well done, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Well done, sir.
So my question is for these parameters, so what if since ship mode has been created and we have an identifier for identifying each of those ship mode numbers, right?
Yes.
And it is directly linked to the fact table, which is sales table. So let's say in the report, my question is in the report, if you now create a filter on its own, a filter for that ship mode, I will now filter it by that ship mode, not the ID per se, the representative of that ID that we add on it. What's the difference between doing that and doing the parameters?
Okay. So the parameter is like when you say apply filter on all pages. In that context. You get my point now. You know, on this filter pane now, you can apply filter on all the pages, Abby. So if you have 15 report pages, you can apply filter to all you can apply a particular filter to all the pages. Are you getting my point now? So in this context of what we are doing now is the same thing as applying filter on all pages. But you know the good thing about this parameter, unlike this one, it means that I have to bring in the entire data set inside my Power BI desktop before I will now come and apply the filter on this filter pane party. But that one, it means that it's not importing those ones that it has filtered out. It's not importing them to the Power BI desktop at all. It's like you are doing the filtering from the source. Are you getting my point, Chef?
Okay. Okay, more like creating views in SQL.
Like say creating, something like that, yes. So instead of, for that one now, you have to bring in the entire data set first. You now drag in that column you're using as your filter. You now drag it inside this filter on all pages. You now select one particular value or a list of values that you want to filter, that you want to apply that filter on all the pages. But this one is like you are managing your data source. You are managing what is going to import, what Power Query will import into your model. Like you are managing that source, the filter applied on the source. You are managing it from this desktop. You don't have to always go back to Power Query every time you need to change what you filter in and what you filter out. Is it clear to you now, Shegun?
Oh yes. So now,
So
does it mean that
it helps you to okay, continue.
So does it mean that it helps
Yeah.
to reduce the number of data that is bringing to Power BI?
Thank you.
So bringing all the data.
You know, everything you are doing in Power BI as a Power BI developer is towards you are optimizing everything you are doing. Even the way you bring in your data, the way you maintain your reports, the way you refresh, the way you do your relationship, the kind of DAX you write, everything in every process you take or everything you do in your Power BI, you are optimizing. So it's like we are filtering the source. So if I now change my parameters now to any of the, so it is not going to change the source. Now it's like you are editing the source again and saying from the source, so only apply second class. So all the report I'm creating now is be based on only that selected sheet mode. Oh yeah, you have a question? Is clear. Okay, it's fine. Oh yeah, you have a question. I saw you raise up your hand the other time.
Oh, good evening, sir. I think I had the same question with Shegun. That's why
okay.
I got my hand.
Please, I want to beg for something. If I call your name, please answer me on time. I'm already, the way I'm talking, all my saliva is already dry.
I'm sorry,
so you are stressing me if I'm calling you and you are not answering on time. I have to call you 3 times before you answer. It's not good. Please, let's adjust, I beg.
So,
yeah. Adewale Adepoju, please go ahead. Our time is fast spent.
Well, thank you, sir. So this thing, the way I'm looking at it, because the bit is somehow looking new to me. Yes. But at least I think
is the first time hearing parameters, I mean?
Yeah, it's my first time like seeing. I've heard it before and I've not practiced it, but it's just like first time of doing it. So even the second method that you tried, I think my network switched that time. So I didn't really get when you were doing the query aspect and so but I don't want to bring us back so that it's not like who is this person. So,
okay.
But yeah. So but the question I want to kind of ask is yes, because like this last person asked, I'm seeing it as something like a bit reducing what I'm loading to the Power BI.
Yeah.
So I don't know, is it like that or I'm just
yes, it's reducing what you are loading to Power BI, and it helps for easy maintenance because you can easily maintain your data structure. You understand? Because you don't have to be going back to your Power Query all the time, going back and be editing your filters that you applied on your fact table every time. In fact, you might even make mistake one day and try and disrupt the applied steps that you've already applied. You understand? So this just helps you to reduce, to maintain your reports. That's the first thing. You don't have to go back to Power Query all the time to go and edit what you are filtering on the fact table, and that also maintains your data structure also at the same time. So yeah, that's it. And reduces what you are bringing into Power BI desktop. You are correct, because it's like you are redirecting the source back to whatever value you are selecting on your parameter.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Is there any question so far? Any other contribution? Question? Isaiah, are you there?
I'm here, sir.
Please switch on the attendance form,
okay,
and people should fill that in just
2
minutes. Yeah, Adewale.
Sir. Yes, sorry, please. I don't know if this could be answer, sir. Maybe if we are going with the attendance, sir, I don't know the second method. At least maybe you can just a bit go over it. I'm sorry to take you back, sir.
Go over what again? Sorry. Second
Like
method.
the second.
I'm sorry. You
Yeah,
have
the
to go
second
and watch the
method.
video. You have to watch the video. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the last time there was no video. That's why I'm a bit scared.
If you look at the Microsoft Teams you are using, there's a video there.
Okay.
Go to the Teams chat. You will see the video. Gabriel, can you go ahead, please?
Okay. Sorry, sir. Should I send the attendance form now?
Huh?
Should I send the attendance form now?
Send it now, please. Switch it on now. Send it now. Let people fill that form in 2 minutes.
It's on. And I've
send the link to them on the chat so that they can go and fill it. Send the link also to the WhatsApp group also.
Okay.
You have only 2 minutes to fill the form, and we are closing the form immediately. Gabriel, your hand is up.
Okay, please. What about if we want to visualize all the ship modes all together? Are we going to go to the Power Query and go back to the Power Query?
If you want to visualize all the ship mode, you don't need to actually do a parameter then.
No, after doing this now, after in this particular you selected the particular ship, which was 2 or 3? If you want to visualize all at once, what do I need to do? Do I need to go back to the Power Query and count?
Something like selecting the whole what's it called?
The whole
the entire ship mode. Aha.
Yes.
Good one. So in a class I taught, what I did for them was to give them that assignment. So I'm redirecting it back to you now. I'm challenging everyone that if you want to select more than one current value in your parameter, how are we going to do that? So let's present that next week Sunday.
Okay.
So Mr. Gabriel.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
I will tell you to find a way. Okay. So next week Sunday again, I'm going to call out your name and ask you that what did you research about and how are we going to go about it?
Okay, no problem.
Okay, Victory.
Yes, good evening. Thank you for the class.
Evening. Yes,
please,
sir.
Can we make this data set available on the platform?
We'll do that today. It's promised.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody any other question? Should we go ahead and spend 15 minutes more, or should we end the class?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. I want to ask, instead of using the ID, which can be confusing in case we have a lot of entries, unique entries with different IDs, can we just use those? Using the example of the one we are using right now, which is the shipping mode, can we just directly use the shipping modes instead of their IDs?
But we don't have the ship modes inside the sales table now. Don't forget that we have normalized the table, and the only thing representing each of the dimension is the IDs in the sales table.
Okay.
When we have ship mode ID and we have ship mode again inside sales table, then we are not fulfilling normalization. Do you understand?
Okay, sir.
Mm-hmm. Who again is their hand up? Gabriel and Victory again.
I don't know if you saw a message on the chat. Someone asked a question. Idris.
Okay. What's the question? Which chat? Is it the WhatsApp chat or the?
No, the general say, what if we want to visualize all ship modes rather based on particular ship
I've answered that now.
Okay, my network.
I've given Gabriel the tax.
Okay. Let me close my network.
Okay. Should we spend 15 minutes more or should we go?
Sir.
Okay.
Mr. Benga, please, I have a question.
Yeah.
Assuming now I'm done with this parameter. This parameter. So I want to input another information on the sales table. It's automatically changed to automatically update into the other parameters that I've created. Am I right or wrong?
I'm not getting you on that part very well. Can you try and reiterate your question?
Okay, my question is, okay, now that we
Yes.
have created the parameter and I
Uh-huh.
want to update my sales table, will it be updated on the parameter that
What do
I
you
have
mean by
done,
updating
I
your
have
sales table?
previously done?
What do you
Okay,
mean by
like
updating
I
your
want
sales
to
table?
impute more. I want to impute more information on the sales table, including the
Like
mode.
you want to do a refresh.
Yes, I want to do a refresh. Like the company gives me more information, then I want to like add it up.
So that information
does
they include the ship
information
modes
on
too?
my sales table.
Did they also added new ship modes
Yes,
now?
yes.
That was why we did that
sir.
second method, the add as a query.
That's what I'm
When you
asking.
do
Will
a
if I
refresh
impute
on the
the
sales
information?
table, sorry?
So if I include the new information on my sales table, so will it
appear
be
on that
my
list.
parameter?
It will appear and also appear on your parameter.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
That was why it's good to always use that second method. Are they doing? Are they doing? Guys, please vote. Should we spend 15 minutes more or should we go?
Let's stay 15 minutes more.
Let's spend 15 minutes more.
Sir,
15 minutes.
if there are other
15
things you need
minutes
to
more.
show us about these parameters, you should just
No,
stay
this
for
parameter, in
15
fact,
minutes.
parameter again, we'll still continue next week. We are not done with parameters.
Okay, let's stay 15 minutes
I will
more.
show you another method.
Second method. Second
Sir?
method, sir. Please.
Okay. So
I didn't see
another.
the video that.
Sorry.
So you said there's a what's it called team that there's a video there, but I didn't see the
Can we
video.
talk about that after the class? I beg, Adiwali.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So we can move fast. Are they doing? What do you want to say?
Yeah, I was going to ask about the recording. Actually, I don't know how people have logged in to join this call, but I don't see.
Let's leave recording for now. We'll deal with that later. Let's focus on what we are doing now. So let's listen to what we want to. Let's listen to this last. So let me open my SSMS. I want to show you the last method. So what I'm doing, yeah.
So I have a question.
Ask your question,
this issue of parameters, using parameters in your query, is it only useful when you have to import data?
When you have to import data, yes. But don't forget the real essence of this parameter is for you to filter your source and to maintain your report structure. So it's actually the main essence of parameter is for maintenance, for easy maintenance of your data.
Okay.
Don't worry. By the time we do this SQL one now, you will understand better. Don't worry. It might not make sense to you now, even still. The first day I saw this topic, I was like, what is this? I'm telling you, I was bored. But let me just show you. So I'm logging into my SQL server now. I have my server name, admo/SQL Express, window authentication. So I click on connect. Now, can you see my SSMS, guys? That's the last thing we are doing for today, and we are leaving. Although I had three topics in mind, but we can't finish this today. Let me just be through with the parameters today so that I know that by next week I'm starting Power Query functions immediately. Right? So I have databases. So look at my databases, right? You will see that I have list_db. And I go to the table. Can you all see my screen, please, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see under list_db, you will see that I have this table called sales, dbo.sales, right? The same dbo.sales, I also have it under SSIS practice. Tables. Oh, no, not under, it's under transaction. under transaction. Please, this part I'm showing you guys, please watch it very well and see what I'm doing. You will see that this dbo.sales and dbo.sales, the two table, the ansatz. What's the question?
You can continue, sir. My question has to do with the last class, so I don't want to interrupt you with this.
No. We can't talk about last class. You have to go and watch the video. Last class. So dbo.sales, Now, you might ask me, why do we have tables in different databases that are the same name? Now, something usually happens for those that work in corporate and enterprise. They understand what I'm saying very well. When your data architects, when they design the architecture of how data is going to move from the different sources, whether, for example, I work in healthcare, for example, and we deal with different hospital data, right? Now, these hospitals, most of them have their in-house applications that they use. Maybe, for example, for patient registration. So when a new patient comes in, a new patient for the first time, you are going to the hospital, like you are registering as a new patient in the hospital. They have an application that they use to register you. By the time you start seeing doctor, you start seeing the physician, or you start going to different medical, what's it called? Maybe like, for example, today you are in an ultrasound, tomorrow you are doing MRI, the next day you are doing full body scan, all those things. Now, every of those units you are going to do, they have your records, right? Now, some might be using SAP. In a place like where I am, they use SAP a lot here. Now, every of the units, most of them use SAP to do all of their daily operations, like inputting stuff, recording, updating stuff, and the rest. Now, those data, they are on the SAP application, right? So the backend guys, backend developer guys, they are the ones that they are the ones that will do that connection to move that data and create a dumping place. It's called a dumping site. Yes. So people call it dumping site, like where the raw data, then that database that you just dump it to. So it's being dumped in that place. Some people call it staging area. I don't know what, I'm not a data engineer, I don't know the full meaning of what they call it. So that dumping place has like the raw data that is not transformed. The way it is from the application, the way it is dropping there, right? It's just dumping there, right? So it will your data architect guy is going to build the architecture that moves that will show you how the data will flow from the dumping area to whether they call it staging area. Then they do some ETL that now moves it to maybe a data warehouse. And from data warehouse, they can now create different data marts based on different domain, right? Now, there's what they call one of my I think somebody here, among the mentors, when he was teaching me about Fabric that time, he talked to me about what is called medallion architecture. We have the bronze, silver, and the gold. All of them are different stages of transformations. So now, there are situations whereby your data engineer will have one database that is for testing. So they call it development, testing, and production, right? So sometimes at the start of your reports, they will tell you to connect to the testing one, right? So that testing database, you create your report from there. And when your report is now done, they will now tell you to change it to the production one, right? They want to change it now to what? To the production database. So the essence of testing is that testing area, that testing database, if they want to make any changes to the production database, they will first make that changes on the testing database first before they now deploy that changes to the production database, right? So in some very organized place of work, they might not give you access to the production database at the instance where you want to start creating your reports. Is that clear, guys? Is it clear? So in this scenario now, let's assume that the database called list_db is my either development or my test database, right? And the one under transaction, the transaction database is my production database. So the list_db is my what? Either development or my testing database. It means that data in this place might not be as organized, structured, and clean like what I have in my production database, right? Now they might say, you know what, developer, just connect to the testing database first, create your report from there. When you are done, we'll make changes to the production data, we'll make changes on that database, we'll move it to production, and now you can now redirect back your data source or your Power BI or your Power Query now to the production database. So let's see how this makes sense. So I'm going to go back to my connect to database engine, right? And this is my server name, adm_/SQL Express. I copy, I go back to my Power BI desktop, right? I would click on, let me just go back to my Power Query to show you what I'm saying, guys. So I'll go to new source, I'll click on SQL Server. I'll click on SQL Server. Now, instead of me inputting my server name, are you getting me, guys? Instead of me doing what? Inputting my server name, I will just come here and change it to parameter. Oh my, no. This is not parameter I want to, right? So what I will have done is this. Let me first come here. Let me go to manage parameter first and click on the new parameter. So let me, not to confuse you, let me first group this. Let me show you how to group. So I'll click on the empty space here. Right click and click on new group. Right. Let me name that new group sales_group. So I will put in everything I have here and move it to this sales_group. I don't want to mix them together. The database data and this one. So I'm moving everything now to this one. Yeah, we fast this thing. People want to go and sleep. Category, segments, I drop it there. Ship mode, and this is my parameter here. Good. So let me now create a new parameter now. So I click on new parameter. Now I'm going to call this one select what? Select server. To select my server. I can just say list of values. And I paste down my server name here. Right? I paste my server name there, right? And my current value is that server. So this will actually still work if I have more than one server. So that one is okay. I can click on OK now. I can also come and create another parameter, a new one. That one is for the database that I want to connect to. Select DB, right? Select DB. Oh, what is wrong with my cursor? It's just dancing around. Okay, I also call this list of values. Then I'll go back to my SQL now, to my SSMS. List_db, right? I'll copy it. Come here. This is the last thing we are doing, guys. I'm sorry if I'm delaying you. So that I can finish this thing, so that I won't go back again to this next week. I've copied the first database I'm connecting to. The second database is transactions. Is it not allowing me to edit? Okay, copy. Go back. Isaiah, have you closed the attendance form?
Yes.
Thank you. So this one, list of values also, and I change I can put my default to be list_db because that's the development and the testing database now, right? So I change this one also to current value list_db, and I press OK. Now I've created a parameter for my server, which is SQL Express, and I've created another parameter for my database. Now, if I now want to go and connect to a new source now, I'll click on SQL Server. Instead of copying and pasting the server name that I am connecting to, I don't need to do that. I'll just come here and choose parameter. And I can change it to what? The select server parameter, right? For database also, you know that these two databases, they are under one server, which is the ADMS/SQL Express. So I've changed this to parameter also, and change it to select DB, select database parameter. And what I want is only what is, so let me go back to one of the tables in my SQL. Let me just let's say under my list_db, for example, select top 1000. So I can let's look at the data now. Okay. Oh, nice. So this is the data. So you see it's similar to what we have in that other first one that we put from Excel. So these are all the columns and everything, yeah. So but the sales value under this sales column here, it might not be really well calculated, right? So that's why we call it testing or development database, right? So I might also filter it down. So if what I just did here, I can change it to, let me come back here and just say maybe remove all of these ones and just use my normal select star from what am I doing? Select star from each of the tables F. Select star from sales. Yes, right. So I can copy this, my SQL code, and just come here. Because the two tables, the databases rather, they all have the same name. Sales is called sales here, also called sales here. So it's easy for me to just say, you know what, the table I'm connecting to is sales. So select star from sales, right? Because they both have the same sales in the two databases, right? So now I cannot click on OK. But by default, I have made sure that my what was it called? That by default, my parameter is selecting this sales table from the list_db. I'm not using the transaction database yet. I'm using this list_db database. So I can check this one and I click on OK. Right? Now, you will see a navigation page will appear now. Instead of showing this the server name and database name, what you will see is select server and select DB, the two parameters that I'm using. All right, I'm done. I can click on OK. Okay, so let me move this query one to this other query here. So it's not part of this one. Okay, now I have everything here now. Query one and my two parameters. Now let's see how this makes sense. So this is my query one, right? I need to refresh this. No. So I'm not making any explanation here. I'll just go to my close and apply. Close and apply. Right? Close and apply. Allow it to load. Oh yeah. Okay. So
sorry, am I the only one that is stuck at SSMS?
Is that what you're seeing? You're seeing?
Yes. Maybe I'm the only one. Maybe it's my network.
Please, are you seeing my Power BI desktop, guys?
Yes,
Yeah, we can see Power BI.
Power BI.
It's her network.
Okay. Okay.
That's my
It's your
Power
network.
BI.
Oh, sorry. Oh. Sorry. Oh. Okay. So now let me calculate a simple report from that sales table of that query one. The query one is here. Right. So let me just say I want to see sales under values, and I want to see channel key. Okay. I want to see channel key. Okay, perfect. Now you see that. Let me try and increase this, guys. Just hold on. Well, I'm almost done. Is it values? Okay, just make it 25. Can you see it clearly, guys? Is it bigger now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me go to row. Yes, row headers. Let me increase that to 25 also. Good. So you are seeing the channel key. You are seeing the sum of sales, right? Now, this sum of sales is based on the sales column in the sales table under the list underscore DB database. Now, look at how parameter makes sense. So I don't need to go to my Power Query again and come and start. If I now want to if the data engineer says, you know what, we are done pushing the changes now to the production database. You don't need to use that testing one again. We are not giving you a perfect one. You don't need to come and be coming to your parameter here and start changing. Maybe they gave you, maybe it's now under a new server. You don't need all that. Or to come to this one and come and change it down to transaction database, which is the which is your production database. So what you need to do is to just come to transform data here. And under edit parameters, you are going to redirect the database name, database back to the production, which is transactions, and press OK. It will tell you to apply changes. And you will now see that your sum of sales now, this database query, just click on run. Just click on run. And what you will now see, guys, is that the sum of change of sales number now has changed because it's now redirecting your result to the new database that you have connected to by the virtue of dynamically changing values in your parameter. Does it make sense to us now?
Yeah, it does.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Please let me know if it
But if we want to remove it, if we want to use another one, how do we go back? Is there any way to, or this is how it's going to be?
You mean you want to add another database? Is that what you mean, Gift?
No, I think not with this one. I think I was trying to, when you were doing this the previous one, when you were using that ship mode, like 1, 2, 3. So let's say I don't want to use those 1, 2, 3 again. I just want everything. How do I remove it?
It's very simple now. Go back to your transform data and just go and remove it.
Oh, okay.
And now just go and remove it like this now. I can remove this now. You can delete it here. Have you seen it
if
now?
I don't want to delete it, I just want it with I don't want it. Okay, that means I'll just remove that filter.
Disconnect it. In this scenario now, you have to go back to your sales table and disconnect this from here. Or remove that applied filter step.
Okay. That's what I want.
This was where you connected it now.
Yes.
By changing that filter to 3 equals to the parameter.
Yes.
You can just go and remove the step. And that's it. It disconnect from you.
That's what I was trying to get. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Guys, is it interesting to you? Is it boring? I want your comments.
Saginga, you already answered the question.
More interesting than last time.
What did I ask?
You already answered the question that the other guy asked if he wants to use all the ship mode.